Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the YouTube. Uh, welcome to the teaching on Mahamudra. We have one more teaching to go next week. So at this point, we will chant mantra of with perfection of wisdom. Om Gate Gate Parangate Parasam Gate Bodhi Soha Om Gate Gate Parangate Parasam Gate Bodhi Soha Om Gate Gate Parangate Parangate Bodhi Soha Om Gate Gate Parangate Parasam Gate 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 Bodhi Soha. The subject of the talk is Mahamudra, Vipassana Mahamudra. And also, this point, I will give a short commentary on the mantra of perfection wisdom, Prajnaparamita. Here is the holy mantra of Prajnaparamita, the mantra of the essence of perfection of wisdom. All the Buddhas of the past, present, and future, by means of Prajnaparamita, completely awaken to unsurpassed, to complete enlightenment, the great, holy, and healing mantra of Prajnaparamita, the mantra of great wisdom, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra that can transcend all kinds of suffering, should be known as truth, since there is no deception. The Prajnaparamita mantra is recited this way: Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. So we just did a chanting. This is the mantra, and the word mantra is very popular these days. It's almost part of English dictionary, or like even you see in the newspapers, and or even media people, they talk about, oh, this is the latest mantra, that is the latest mantra, something that people talk over and over, repeating, and they use the word mantra. So So mantra is Sanskrit word, and Tibetan word for translation for mantra is called nga, nga, and nga. So I will explain. Um, nga means something that will heal your mind, heal your body. And when you say a certain mantra, that mantra is so powerful, it has effect in your body and mind. It makes your mind become more sort of awakened and free and more relaxed or peaceful and trouble free and happier, right? And also that mantra is uh, like an anchor, like the boat doesn't drift away by the wind and there's there, boat stay there. It's like that. Your mind is stay together with your body and at your heart center. And mantra, or it hold together, or very grounding, you know, and it is very beneficial word, but not just word, but it has effect in your mind. So I hear in Heart Sutra, according to Heart Sutra, said, completely awakened to unsurpassed. So that this mantra, but this particular mantra has that power. And this mantra is the mantra of unsurpassed and unequal mantra. So there is no really mantra like this. This is the highest mantra. There are many mantras, there are hundreds of mantras, thousand mantras of different Buddhas, different deities, right? And so this is a one very sort of unique mantra. So the literal meaning, mantra, in Sanskrit word mana is consciousness. Tra, mana and tra, mantra. Tra is protection of your mind. It protects your mind, and it's sort of like a nest. Okay, you have a bird nest, right? The bird will lay eggs, and in the nest, before lay egg, the mother bird, she run around and building this nest. She's very busy, It may take 2 days or 3 days, depends on how big the nest has to be, and depends on what the nest is made of. You see the swallows, they make nest with mud. She fly around, get the mud in her mouth, and then build nest. That's hard work, for example, if we have to build a house with our mouth, that would be hard. And nobody does that. No, unimaginable, right? I don't even know how to build a house with my hands. And building a house with mouth, building a house with your teeth. And so for the bird is for used to, right? And also the nest is not that big. And so she builds a nest with the mud, swallows they do. And the birds like robins, and most birds, they will build a nest with the twigs and grass and whatever they find, something that make the nest, together, round. They build that. And then sometimes they have also problems with wind and other predators or human beings. They don't like you are building the nest there. They will destroy it. So it's kind of unfortunate thing, right? Then poor bird, she has to go somewhere, build again, another one. Now she's due to lay eggs. So you have to build quickly the nest, right? What do you do with that? You can't just leave the egg somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And there's a one particular bird in Australia, in Darwin, and I don't know, I think it's called plover. Okay, and I used to watch birds lots, so I know lots about birds. And I used to be kind of a bird watcher. And I read lots of books from Audubon, James Audubon Society books, the magazine. Also, I read books about famous ornithologist, writer called Peter Roger Torres, books about birds about the west of the Rockies of American Canada, birds of the east of the Rockies. So, and I used to watch birds a lot. So I make a joke, say, I'm going to watch the bodhisattvas, bodhisattvas. And I'm not bodhisattva, but I watch the birds, bodhisattvas, right? And the birds are beautiful, right? So beautiful. They are so colorful. And they sing the most beautiful songs, and to entertaining other birds, entertaining themselves, entertaining us human beings, like the minor birds, and they imitate, like in Thailand, the bird says "sawadee kap" or "sawadee ka." Some of my friends here knows Basa Thai language, and I know a little bit of Thai language because I lived in Thailand. So Sawadee Cup or Sawadee Ka is a greeting, right? So the bird repeat this, and minor birds. So the birds are very intelligent. So and the birds build nest and building nest, holding the egg together, right? Like that, mantra is a mana, is consciousness. Tara is the mantra will hold our consciousness together, protect our mind, and so that we don't lose our mind. We don't get confused about our mind. When your mind is suffering, when your mind is already traumatized, you have grief, sadness, loneliness, whatever, and especially this time, pandemic, we're suffering, right? So we get confused. We don't know. Our mind is experiencing lots of dukkha, right? And hard. So people, especially people who have traumas, right? So then when you say mantra really helps you to relax your mind, makes you peaceful, and and so makes your life easier. I mean, I shouldn't say easier, but makes your life more smooth. Okay, and so mantra. Okay, that's the meaning. And there's another word for mantra, which is called zoom in Tibetan. Zoom. Okay, the Sanskrit term is dharani. Dharani. Okay, so this mantra here, Om Gati Gati Para Gati Para Sam Gati Pari Soha, is actually zoom and mantra both. So why are we not using the term zoom? And well, the zoom word's kind of short word, like zoom, almost close like a zoom, right? And mantra is sounds like more attractive, and people like the word mantra instead of zoom or dharani. Dharani is kind of long word, right? So dharanis are mantra, but they're also uh, kind of prayers that was come from the sutras, like this one, so part of the Heart Sutra, right? So this is Zoom. In Tibetan, we have a word called Zungaki Gyalpo. Zoom in Tibetan word Zoom means actually Zoom means holding. Zoom ah, we say in Tibetan, clock or Tibetan word. You keep that, hold that, don't drop it. Zoom ah. Zoom means hold it, please hold it. Zoom. So again, the meaning is the same. You're holding together. Mantra will hold together, keep it together. And mantra is somebody is like a rope, it will hold together. Or mantra is like a glue and like a tape. You have a duct tape, and and duct tape is very useful, right? You can use for many things, and for temporarily, and glues are same. And so Zoom is means holding together. So this is a Zoom a mantra, and now I will read a little bit about the commentary of this mantra. Um, um, okay, so this is unsurpassable mantra. There is no other mantra like that, like this. It is the mantra that calms all suffering. Sutra says it should be known as the truth, since there is no deception. Here the Tibetan word is Dempa, and this mantra is the truth, and it is pure and perfect. Dempa is Tibetan word. Dempa means truth, yeah, absolute truth. We do not say Deyata always. And sometimes we say Deyata, Omgate, Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhisattva. Most of the time we don't say. And we usually start with Om. Om is the beginning of the mantra. Most mantra start with Om. Om is beginner of the mantra. Om is one syllable and is constructed together three letters: A, U, and Ma. A, U, Ma. Put together is Om. So instead of saying A, U, Ma, you say Om, Om, Om. So in India, you see the Hindu people chant Om, Om Namo Shivaya, Om Namo Shivaya, Om Ganapati Gaga, Om Saraswati, so on, so on. You start the mantra with Om syllable. So A-U-Ma is three letters. A-U-Ma, body, speech, and mind, put together as a one. So when you say Om, think about the deity, particular Buddha deity, you are invoking the inspiration and blessings of the body and speech of this particular Buddha. Okay, like say Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Tari Tutari Ture Soha, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Arapajanadi, Om Vajrapani Hum, Om Vajar Guru Padma Siddhi Hum. There's so many mantras. Right? It's always start with Om. So you are invoking the inspiration of the holy body, speech, and mind of that Buddha to you, or you are trying to get closer yourself, your body, your speech, and mind, getting closer to the divine holy body, speech, and mind of the Buddhas. Okay, getting closer and closer. Om. And purifying your body, speech, and mind, purifying the karmas of the body, speech, and mind, and also you share your experience on meditation, your love, your compassion, your wisdom with others, and so others, you wish others have love, others have compassion, others have wisdom. Okay, Om. You start with Om, Om, and so here, Om. You start Om with mantra of perfection, wisdom, prajna paramita. Om gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate. Body soha is, and gate means going. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate. Four gates, right? Going, going, going. So we're going. Since we're born until we die, end of our life, non-stop going, day and night. Even while you're sleeping on the bed, very nice sleep and very quiet, peaceful sleep. You have a long sleep, good sleep, right? And but you're still going. It's like sitting in an aeroplane, you know. The aeroplane's flying, right? Or sitting in the train. The train is going, and you might be having sleep and having nap in the plane or in the train, but train is going. Very speed. If you're in Japan, Shinkansen train going, I'm not sure exactly, but 200 something, 20 miles an hour, very fast, very fast. The bullet train, fast and accurate. and wonderful trains and electric trains. Not much pollutions. Good service and safe. Japan is one of the most safest country in the world for traveling, and mm, good service, and so like that. And there are other countries like India. There are so many trains, more trains in India than anywhere else in the world. The traveling in by train in India is very interesting, very entertaining, as you know, and no moment dullness. And I love traveling by train in India. You see all kinds of people in the train, on the railway station, on platform. You see yogis meditating, sadhus, and merchants, people selling food, musicians, and cows walking by eating banana leaves. Goats come around eating some leftover chickpeas, chana, and rotis, and and there's so many birds. It's just like doesn't matter. The train is late for 3 hours. It doesn't matter. Train late for 4 hours, and they every 40 minutes they make announcements and the train is late again, and any inconvenience is deeply regretted, and you hear that again and again, right? And never mind. Okay, I can meditate. I can drink lots of chai, and there's always entertainer there. And so why rush? We're in India, and yes, right. So if you have this kind of attitude, then it's okay. That's fine. If you have to be there here and always pushing, and running, and then you're frustrated, and well, this is India, right? And you have to accept how it is. And everybody travels like that in India. And anyway, so gati means going. We're going, right? So here, going gati means not just going, not talking about going, but going from here, going kind of better place, safer place, peaceful place, more enlightened place. So Gate means going from mundane, worldly kind of level, existing a little bit higher on the spiritual level. Going, Gate. Next one, Gate. Gate means going higher, beyond the daily um, actually cycle of life, and this daily life, cycle of life, and suffering of daily life, and all kinds of problems of life, going beyond that. And then Gati Gati. Paragati means going beyond birth and death and cycle of life, and beyond karma. Okay? Gati Gati. Gati Gati. Paragati. Beyond karma, beyond rebirth, beyond samsara, and beyond karma. So this time I should maybe talk a little bit about karma too, since today and next Tuesday is the last talk. So karma in Tibetan word we say le. Le jiktin natso che. In Tibetan word, le jiktin natso che means the world is come from different different karmas. And individual karmas, collective karmas. We have individual karmas and collective karmas. The collective karma is made with individual karmas. Karma is a Sanskrit word. Again, as like karma is almost like a part of the English dictionary. A lot of people knows the word karma means, but they heard about the word karma. They have some idea about karma, but they don't know exactly what karma is. And because sometimes the problem is people think karma means some sort of almost like a blame and saying it's your fault, and or karma is a fate and you can't change. That's a misunderstanding. Karma is not a fate. Karma is not your fault or anybody's fault. Well, we don't talk about fault, right? Well, we do have fault too. I'm not saying we don't have fault, but karma is cause, and karma means cause and effect, and there are different karmas, different level of karmas, and in Tibetan we say sambele, jorele, and lay is karma. Sambele Jurumi. Sambele means karma that created in your mind, creating karma in your mind. You, for example, even while you're sleeping, you can create karma in your dream. You know, not moving your body, sitting here, you can still create karma. Sambele. Yorevele means creating karma intentionally and creating karma by physically and doing something, you do something, creating karma, right? For example, if I drink coffee, I am creating karma. How do you create karma from drinking coffee? Well, why do we drink coffee, right? And why do we drink tea? Tea is one, coffee is another, and tea has its own flavor, taste, and beauty, and tea is wonderful, right? There are many different kinds of teas. Darjeeling tea, and green tea, and Sri Lanka tea, and so on and so forth. Many different teas. And coffee like that, Colombian coffee, and all kinds of coffees, right? Coffee from Java, Indonesia, coffee from Africa, and from Nigeria, and coffee from Sri Lanka, coffee from Assam, many different coffees, right? And so we drink coffee. Coffee has a different effect on your mind. Some people say it's good to drink coffee every day, good to drink tea every day. Of course, tea is good. And the universal tea language, and tea is chai in India, in Tibet we say cha, and so in Thailand they say cha. In Chinese also say cha, and many languages. In Japan they say cha, and Arabian people say cha, and cha is different pronunciation but same thing. Tea is good, right? So anyway, when I drink coffee, I create karma because caffeine, right? And coffee gives you some energy. Coffee wake you up, and coffee makes your mind keep going, doing things what you want to do. And say I'm meditating, or you meditating, if you experience dullness, mind, sinking mind, and then you sip a little bit of coffee, drink a little bit of coffee, and help you, so you don't experience dullness. You can meditate better after drinking coffee. Same with tea, a strong tea. Some tea are very strong. Depends on the person. Some people, tea has more effect on, more caffeine on their mind than their brain than coffee. Anyway, so I'm creating this karma to waking me up. I'm creating some good karma drinking coffee, right? So everything is karma, jorwe le, karma with actions, right? Karma. So good karma and bad karma, positive karma and negative karmas, indifferent karmas. The third karma is indifferent karma, neither positive nor negative karma. And so we can create karma, and karma going around the cycle, rebirth, right? So then when you purify your mind, purify your projections, purify your mental defilements such as ignorance, attachment, and anger, and delusions, then you also no longer creating karma, no longer creating negative karmas, because you no longer have mental defilements, right? So then cycle of defilement is ending, cycle of karma is ending. You see, when we talk about Four Noble Truths, suffering, cause of suffering, noble truth of suffering, noble truth of cause of suffering. So the noble truth of cause of suffering is the defilement, mental defilement. Once you have noble truth of cause of suffering, then you're creating karma, right? So now, so when you meditate on Prajnaparamita, perfection of wisdom, say the mantra Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhisattva. So then the power of meditation on shunyata will then liberate your mind. You go up higher. Gate, gate, paragate, paragate. You go beyond the cycle of birth and death and so on. Paragate. Then parasamgate, parasamgate, completely gone beyond and gone to state of awakened, enlightened. Mind, your mind is more enlightened. Become free of defilement, free of karma. And parasamgate, body is all. Body is enlightenment. But that's the meaning of this mantra. Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgate. So, so what we do is we recite, we chant the mantra, think the meaning of the mantra, then we meditate on that, and then it's very helpful because the mantra itself, you think about the meaning of the mantra, then meditate on it. Then it becomes a powerful mantra, as it says here. The mantra of great wisdom, the great holy and healing mantra, and the mantra of wisdom, and the unequaled mantra, and so on and so forth. So now I explain the meaning of mantra. I explain a little bit about karma. So now I should talk a little bit about karma, because karma is very profound subject, very complicated karma. You can talk about karma for days and days, and some people misunderstood karma. As I said, people think, "Oh, it's your fault," and some sort of fate. Because karma is not a fate, because you can change your karma, you can purify your karma, you can help others to purify their karmas. So then that means it's not a fate. Usually when you say fate, it means something that you cannot change. Like this is fixed, this is how it is, that's it, in this life or next life, fixed. So karma is not like that. You're the one who created karma, and we the one created karma, and we can change. We created this karma according many scientists, many people, and we created this karma of global warming, right? Now we're trying to create karma to help us to prevent further warming, further deteriorating the world, and prevent collapsing the system, the whole. See what happened now. You see, we had this big fire every summer here in British Columbia and California, everywhere. And they had a big fire in Greece, fire in Italy, fire in Siberia last year or 2 years ago. And now recently we had a flood, unbelievable flooding, devastating flood in BC. And there are flooding in India. There was flood in China, flood everywhere. And because glaciers are melting and raining and El Nino, whatever you want to call, all these things happen, global warming, because they say we created, because it's carbon, so many other stuff, factors, right? So this is collective karma, group karma. So we are trying to change. And we believe that we can change. If everybody is responsible, do something, you could change. It's possible. I'm not expert here on these things, climate and global warming. I'm not pretending I'm an expert. Excuse me, I'm not. And I'm only talking about what I hear, and I'm only assuming this is what is happening, because we all know, I experienced myself. We experienced right here all this smoke and fire last year. Now flood. So this is unusual. People say it never happened like this for 100 years or before. We don't know, long before, when Europeans landed in North America. We don't know. There's no record what happened. But as far as we know, and this sort of thing didn't happen in the past. So something is going on. Something's happening. It's not just in one continent, one area. It's all over the world happening. You see, like glaciers are they're melting in Himalayas and Andean mountains, and North Pole is, like Greenland is melting, ice melting. South Pole, ice melting. North Pole, ice melting. Everything. These little islands are drowning, sinking in South Pacific, and little countries, they are drowning, right? So this is a collective karma. Yeah? So we create it, but we can purify our karma. And so we have methods of purification. So meditation on shunyata is one of the methods, beautiful methods of purifying karma. Okay, and okay, so now end of the end of the teaching on Prajna Paramita by the Buddha when he taught at Vulture's Peak Mountain, and there was a conclusion, of course, and Avalokiteshvara, Buddha of compassion, and Shariputra, and the great being, they made the conclusion here. Avalokiteshvara concluded. Shariputra, he said to monk Shariputra, a bodhisattva, a great being, should practice the Prajnaparamita in this way. After he had said this, the Lord Buddha himself arose from the contemplation. He had been in all this time contemplation, Buddha himself. He praised Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva. Oh, good son of a noble family, son of a noble lineage. You have spoken very well. It is just as you have shown. In this same way, the profound Prajnaparamita should be practiced, and all the Buddhas thus gone beyond will rejoice. The Buddha said, what exactly what you said was perfect, correct, and should be practiced this way. And he said, all the Buddhas of the past will rejoice. I'm rejoicing you right now. So the Buddha approved, right? So then at that moment, it becomes sutra. When Lord Buddha said this, then Avalokiteshvara, the great bodhisattva, and Shariputra, and that entire assembly of disciples, as well as the devas, humans, asuras, gandharvas, were completely happy and thrilled by what the Buddha had taught. This concludes my explanation of Heart Sutra, the origin of the Mahamudra teachings and practice. So why am I talking about Heart Sutra and while I'm trying to explain Mahamudra? Because Heart Sutra is the origin of Mahamudra, teaching on Mahamudra. Okay, so now we're going to do some meditation and Vipassana Mahamudra technique. Okay, and as I mentioned before, there are two levels of Mahamudra meditation: Sutra Mahamudra and Tantra Mahamudra. And within the Sutra Mahamudra, there's two levels also: Samatha Mahamudra and Vipassana Mahamudra. So we done some meditation on Samatha Mahamudra before, and trying to develop awareness, trying to develop concentration, trying to practice resting the mind in a natural state, and also trying to observe our mind, and by the observer, which is also mind to mind, okay, and then observing the mind and develop awareness of the mind, trying to cultivate calm, abiding mind. So this is how you do. This is the way to develop. This is perhaps the only way to develop calm, abiding mind, and kind of correct way in developing calm, abiding mind by mind itself, resting the mind. I said this before many times. The word resting the mind in a natural state is important one because our mind needs to stay quiet, stay calm, and resting. It's like because our mind is very busy, mind has lots of stress, lots of activities, and the mind is used so much and draining the energy of the mind and then deluding the mind, get confused, so on and so forth. That's why resting the mind in the natural state is important. And develop Shamata, Mahamudra. So, as I said before, in order to see what's inside the pond, at the bottom of the pond, you have to wait until the pond is calm, pond is clear. And when the pond is clear, the water is clear, then you sit at the edge of the pond, and then you slowly see the water in the pond. You see what is in the pond, right? Like that, first mind has to be calm and clear. Develop calm, abiding mind. Tibetan word is samatha, and calm, abiding mind. Also, word is samadhi. Tibetan word is shine. Shine, shua is peace. Ne is remain peacefully. Trying to make your mind peaceful and calm. That's samatha. Okay, then now I like to talk about Vipassana Mahamudra. And according Nagarjuna and Lama Tsongkhapa's tradition, when we meditate on emptiness and Vipassana Mahamudra, there are two steps. First step is to meditate on emptiness of personality. Next one is emptiness of phenomena. Other words, the first one, meditate on emptiness of phenomena. Okay, personality. So, personality. It doesn't mean that you look at yourself, what kind of person you are, or looking somebody else. Say, I want to know what kind of person this one, he is or her. That is not the meaning of meditation on emptiness of personality. Meditation on emptiness of personality means we have the word person, right? I am a person. I am a human being. I'm this. I'm that. Yeah? So who am I? When you do meditation on emptiness of personality, you look at yourself. Who am I? Right? And what's the difference between myself and you, or he or she? What's different? Why do I feel differently myself than others? How do I feel? And I feel I am who I am. I feel I am important. Some people feel I'm very important. Some people feel I'm not important. I'm just nothing. I'm small. Just one little, like tiny little stone or something. I'm sort of no significant. Very little ego. A little, Everybody's different, right? Some people are big ego. Some people want to keep building their egos, right? Or keep cleaning their egos, polishing their egos, and trying to make the egos bright, shiny. or painting the ego, coloring the egos. Different. I. So now, the question arises, why are we talking about I? Why do we talk about I? And because this thought and feeling, I, or I am, or me, arise. Tibetan word, I is nga, 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 nga. Okay, nga. It also means same thing, self, arise, nga. So there is always nga, I am, right? I am this, I'm that. I call myself Tenzing, I call myself Lama, I call myself whatever your name is, or you can call yourself whatever. In the David, in Canada, we have many Davids, and David, Susan, or whatever your name is, Peter, John, and Bible names, Christian names, right? Named after the saints and the disciples of Jesus, and in the West, right? In the East, we have different names, like Tibetans and African people. We have a lot of people names are after the day of the week: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so Nima, Dawa, Mingma, Lakwa, Puru, Pasa. And in Africa, they have names Kwame, Kwaku, Kwazi, Kopi, and like that, lots of Ks. And in Hawaii, I think there's something similar, like Kalua or Kalal, this and that. I think something like that. I'm not quite sure. So in Tibet, we have Mima Yima Tsering, Lapa Norbu, and Dawa Norbu, and Pemba Tsering, and Domala. Yeah. So it sort of means like you're born in that day, And so these are labels, names, labels and names, right? So you say yourself, I am a Dawa Tsering, I am a Pemba Norbu, I am this and that, I'm a David, I'm John, I'm Peter. I am. So this I name associated with I come up, right? I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm tired, I'm suffering, I want to get enlightened, I want to be free, and I want to become a better person, and I want to have a place to live. I need food, I need medicine, I need shelter. I always, I is coming all the time since a little kid, until the day you no longer have the thought or no longer have the mind saying, calling yourself I, and because the mind is going, right? So I is always there. I. So having the I is not a problem. I'm not saying I is the blame. I is not the blame. But there's something else. So here I will read translation of famous Buddhist Indian philosopher Chandrakirti. He was a disciple of Nagarjuna. Chandrakirti text called Madhyamika Avatara. In Tibetan, we say Umala Jupa. Umala Jupa means entering into the middle path. So when I went to monastery in Sera Monastery, and it is a rule, tradition, you have to memorize 2 texts, ideally. One is Ngondok the other is Umajupa. So 2 texts. Umajupa is about Madhyamika philosophy, emptiness. Nagarjuna wrote, Chandrakirti wrote this book. It's about, I'm not sure exactly, about 100 pages, at least 100 pages. And then Ngondok Jen is another text, Abhisamaya It's a little over 100 texts, 100 pages. You have to memorize this, every single word, memorize. So I did. I memorized. I'm not great one at memorizing things, but it's a tradition. So you memorize words. In Tibetan tradition, monastery tradition, memorizing is very important. Memorize. So when I was learning languages like Hindi, English, Thai, and whatever the languages, and I'm learning some Mongolian language. Now I'm learning Spanish. A lot of words I memorize naturally, memorizing, keep repeating in my head. I memorize. It's not so hard to memorize because I'm used to memorizing. Once I memorize the word, and then I remember, right? I know that word. Spanish word, subedoria, wisdom, compassion. Well, compassion is similar to English word. Right? And sabadoria, I think Portuguese, sabadoria, Spanish, subidoria, something like that, wisdom. So I memorize these words. Then I have to kind of put them together and somehow turn into broken Spanish. People understand, right? So that's good. That's how it is. So um, um, the I is coming up again and again. So here, Chandrakirti's text called Madhyamika Avatara. He says, Chandrakirti states in the Madhyamika Avatara, first self-grasping arise on the I, and then grasping onto mine. I am attached to myself. I am clinging to myself. It is all about I. It is all about me. The text says that first clinging to self arise, then clinging to things arise, then more clinging happens, and it goes round and round like a water wheel. And Chandrakirti says, goes round, willy-nilly, like water wheel. Willy-nilly, like a water wheel. Okay, what is willy-nilly? Water wheel. Okay, so you have water wheels. Today you don't see water wheels because you have in the big cities we live, millions of people live in cities. We don't know where water is coming. You just turn on the tap. It's already in your bathroom, in your kitchen. You have no clue where the water coming from. And and you don't have to think about, right? But if you live in a countryside and you live in a village, you know where the water coming from the creek, from above you. There's some kind of well there, and you know, have to search, and yeah. So, if you go back to India or Egypt or in the countryside, they still have water wheels. So they have well, okay, big open well, and then they have the wheel, and then big wheel with the bucket attached to it, and then go round and round and bring up water, dump in the irrigational canal, the water going, then go down to the farm, to their system, and then feeding the farm. And so who's pulling this wheel? The cows, the bull, the bull, and the Brahman bulls, or the cows pulling. So this is what we call willy-nilly water wheel. In Tibetan word, Tangbo Ngashi Dala Shinjuji, Dagin Dishi Ngula Chache Ba, So Chun Chenda Rawa Mebai. And so that's the Tibetan word from Madhyamika out. Tangbo Ngashi Dala Shinjuji. First, you say I, then you are clinging to yourself. I am human, I am this, I am that, I am good, I am, my meditation is good, my meditation not so good, this and that, right? I'm clinging to myself. Which means then I got some kind of another attachment, another kind of clinging, saying, this is my reading glass. Without this, I can't read. Oh, this is my watch. I need to watch the watch, and so that I can start on time. I can finish on time. Otherwise, um, you know, things get sort of how should I say, disorganized or kind of like that. So this is my computer, this is my iPhone, and this is my car, and whatever. So then you have this sort of attachment, right? Or clinging, right? Dagin dishi nula chacheba nupo means the objects. Chakjeba means you clinging into it. Then dagin dishi nula chacheba. So chun chen the rame, just like willy-nilly will. Then it says rawameba. Rawameba means no freedom, no choice. Well, actually, we do have a choice. If we decided to have a choice, if we make it ourselves, uh, 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 if we make it ourselves, if we do the practice, then we can have a choice. That's the whole point, right, of Dharma practice. But when we don't, then we don't have a choice. We go around like a hamster running around inside the cage, right? So, Rawan Mebai means no freedom. So this is why we go around in samsara. We call samsara means wheel of life. So we have a kind of casual slang, saying, "Oh, it's samsara." What can you do? What can you do? Oh, it's samsara. That's the way it is now, and kind of like that. So now, so this I, cling to I, it's called self-grasping. Self-grasping is the cause of karma, creating karma. Self-grasping is dangzin in Tibetan word. Dak zin. Dak is self. Also, as I said earlier, nga is the self. I. Zin means holding. Self-grasping is the root of samsara. So, why are we grasping? Because we feel that's the only way to live, to survive. Grasping, you have to grasp, and to keep your life, or to kind of entertaining yourself, whatever, right? Holding this way, but then it kind of muddled and mixed up with all the emotions, more emotions coming, self-grasping, then attachment coming, arising, then fear arising, then resentment arising, resistance, anger, all kinds of mental defilement. The Sanskrit word is kleshas, defilement arise. Right? The defilement is called kunjung, Tibetan word. Kunjung means the cause of everything. And then what is happening is then creating karma. Then you go around wheel of life. So this is what is happening. So therefore, one, according to Dharma teaching, according Buddha's teaching, advice, that we meditate on emptiness, meditate on Vipassana Mahamudra. Vipassana means inside, and inside the essence, meditate. First you meditate on I. What is I? Is there I? Does I actually exist or not? And how does it exist? If it does exist, then how does it exist? And then how do we grasping to this I? And can you have I without grasping? Or is always grasping? When you have I, then always grasping? Or can you have I without grasping? Yes, of course you can have I without grasping. That's the whole point here. We meditate, trying to meditate, trying to develop the state with I, but without grasping. The bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, the highly realized beings, Aryas, they have a sense of I, but they have no grasping to self, not grasping. And this is the beauty. That's the most beautiful thing. You have a sense of I, but no grasping. So when you become enlightened, doesn't mean you kind of all merge everything, all become mishmash somewhere, and kind of don't know who am I and who you are. Kind of, that's not how it happens, And like mixing like salty water, mixing everything, all the liquid, fluid, everything mixed up. All that's not meaning, and you still have a sense of I now, but without grasping. That's the beauty. And for example, Lord Buddha, after his enlightenment, and then he walked from Varanasi from Bodh Gaya to Varanasi. And after his enlightenment, 46 days, he did not teach. He said he wasn't interested in teaching. He was not rushing to teach. And he need to contemplate more. He wait until right time comes, until someone asks him to teach. Then he knew that his former friends, when I said former friend, doesn't mean they're not his friends, but they were traveling companions, right? His companions, the five monks, sannyasins, they want his teaching. They were wondering where he is. They were wondering whether he's enlightened or not. They were meditating in Varanasi. So Buddha knew they were kind of waiting, right? So Buddha walked across to the north, keep going, and then crossed the Ganges River. Today, if you travel by train from Bodh Gaya to Varanasi, it takes about 4 hours. And again, depends on what kind of train is express train or a passenger train, we call it. In India. There are many trains. If you travel by Shiva Ganga Express or if you travel by Mahabodhi Express, then you can get faster, maybe 3 hours. You know, but not include the waiting time. The waiting is different. If you keep waiting 4 hours at a railway station, but then train comes, it only takes 4 hours or less. And this is interesting, India is like that. So now, recently I saw in the news, they got kind of special train that goes from Bodh Gaya to Varanasi to Kushinagar and Lumbini, all the Buddhist holy sites. This is very nice. I'm quite excited. Take that train, go around. And they also built a new airport, international airport in Kushinagar. And the Indian Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi went there, did the opening ceremony. And then first pilgrims are monks from Sri Lanka arrived. Air Lanka arrived. And lots of monks came. And they did a beautiful opening ceremony. I saw on YouTube. I'm sure you saw it. So this is a wonderful, and we have more access. Kushinagar is a difficult place to go there because there's no road, good road, and they don't have much service. And even Lumbini it's even harder to go north and cross the border to Nepal. I used to travel by, old bus, 25 distance of 25 miles. It take about 3 hours. See, here it's like half hour, right? And less than half hour, or 25 kilometers. That's nothing, right? Half hour, less than half hour. Over there, 4 hours. Bus stop here, stop there. Bus breakdown, and the battery is low. So just run it. Yeah, here. Bus is stop here. Bus breakdown, and batteries warning. Yeah, good. Thank you. So, um, and so going. Okay, let me go back to this thing about going, samsara in the willy-nilly water wheel. So, and then why are we going like this? Because of I, self. Who am I? What is I? What is self? Self-grasping. So, okay, I will now make it condense, conclude because time. Computer is telling me and the battery running out, this and that, and I can feel there's a kind of need to be less talking. So meditate on emptiness self. Okay, emptiness I. Can we experience the emptiness of I? Yes, definitely. Can we experience emptiness of self? Yes. Can you get realization of emptiness? Absolutely. Can you get realization of shunyata? Absolutely. Otherwise, what's the point, right? Why I'm talking here? Wasting time if there's no realization. And I'm talking through my own experience. And there's some improvement, realization on emptiness. I have emptiness experience, and some of you have, not just some of, many of you have realization experience, and I can't judge your realizations. You can't judge me. We can't judge each other. We're not here to judge. The you know, and the Buddha actually said, "Don't judge anybody." And so, and so let's okay. So we do some meditation now. This is most important, right? Meditation on emptiness of personality. Okay, let's do that. Kanzaki Dangme in Tibet. Kanzak means person. Dak is self. Me is Kanzaki. No self. Emptiness of person. Okay. So let's do, when we do this meditation here, um, uh, Vipassana meditation, start with the emptiness of personality. We have to do with the analytical meditation. Analytical meditation. So you do this, and you sit on cushion comfortably, okay, and sit and keep your back straight. Relax your body and relax your mind, and then you do analytical meditation. Analyze and meditate on emptiness of self, or if you want to call it emptiness of I. You analyze. So, what is self, or what is I? You analyze this question. What is self? What is I? Other than the label I, other than label self, what is self? What is I? Where is I? Who am I? You can search if you like, from top of your head to the bottom of your feet. What is I? What is self? What is I? And who am I? And where is self? Where is I? Do analytical meditation this time. after meditating on I or self, emptiness of self, emptiness of I, ask question, do analytical meditation. So then you could have glimpse of experience of emptiness of I, emptiness of self. And see here, we meditate. When we meditate, we do the mudra, hand mudra, right? It's called mudra of meditative ekapos. Right hand at the top of the left hand, like this. We make a little circle here. See this circle here? This is symbol of emptiness. There's one circle. Another circle here in my around my chest, between my arms like this. Another circle, right? Two circle here. So here, this is circle. So what does this mean? This means I'm trying to experience emptiness of I, emptiness of self. So when you analyze, go through, theoretically, philosophically, logically, from rationally, you experience glimpse of emptiness. I can't find I can't find self, and other than the mind of self, other than thought of self, other than thought of I, there's no I, no self. We have saying self is only the concept of self. Right? There is no self. So does that mean now there is no self at all and no I at all? If that's the case, then why bother trying to meditate? Why bother trying to become enlightened? Who's going to be enlightened if there's no I, no self? That's a good question. That's a good question. But we're not saying, the point here, we're not saying there is no I. We're not saying there's no me, no self. But there is no independent existent self, no truly existent self, no inherently existing self. This is why you don't find one, because it's not there anymore. It's not there in the first place. How can you find? We have saying in the philosophy, how can you find a rabbit in the moon? You can't find rabbit in the moon. We have saying if you look at the moon carefully, there's an image of moon in the image of rabbit in the moon. This is a Indian and Tibetan way of saying in the old days. Full moon night, if you look at the image of rabbit, that's why there's a word called riwong chen in Tibetan poetry. We don't say moon, we say riwong chen, which means one with the image of rabbit. Riwong is rabbit, chen is the moon. So, but there's no rabbit. How can you have rabbit in the moon? There's human beings gone there, and there are people who are talking about now they're going again, and but you don't take the rabbit up there. Why? Poor rabbit. And what's the point? You never know these people now, and they never know what they're going to take up there, put it up there. You never know what is going on in life. Like anyway, so there is, of course, there is self, there's I. So this I or self exists nominally, exists by mental imputation. There is I or self, but that self I, which has feelings, perceptions, and happiness, suffering, whatever, that self is there. This self is going to be enlightened. But this self doesn't exist inherently, independently, as you might think. That's the whole point. So you have to balance this between self exists but does not exist independently, permanently. Okay, so I will leave it here now. We have a little bit time for question and answer. Then not next Tuesday is the last teaching on Mahamudra. Okay, thank you very much. Muchas gracias. So if you have any questions, most welcome.
Marius asks, how does Gelug Mahamudra vary from Kagyu Sakya or Nyingma Mahamudra?
So Marius asked, what's the difference
between Gelug and the other sects?
Yeah, well, someone asked this question last Tuesday, I think. I answered that question. Maybe Marius wasn't there. So Mahamudra, according Gelug, Kagyu, and is not a huge difference. Okay, the Nyingma sect, according to Nyingma tradition, they don't use the word Mahamudra. They use the word Dzogpa Chenpo, Dzogchen. And Sakyabhas, I'm not sure. I haven't seen any text according to Sakya tradition about Mahamudra, and they teach Madhyamika instead of Mahamudra, Madhyamika. So let me tell you, this is a good question. Thank you for asking that question. So first, Panchalama is the most important teacher in our lineage, Gelugpa lineage. First Panchalama, his name is Losang Kyuji Jelsen. Officially, he was the first Panchalama, but unofficially, he was not the first Panchalama. Previous incarnations, altogether there was 8 Panchalamas. Before that, there was 4. Anyway, so he was the guru of the 5th Dalai Lama, and the very famous 5th Dalai Lama, Ngawang Losang Gyatso. So, first Panchen Lama wrote very, very beautiful root text of Mahamudra, not very long. And then he wrote his own auto commentary, sub-commentary of his own original text. So he says, Chak Zo U Sim, Chakpa Chembo, Chakja Chembo, Chak Zok, Chakja Chembo, Zokpa Chembo, it means Mahamudra, Zokpa Chembo, Dzogchen, Uma, Madhyamika, and Sem Zampa, and then Shije Ba, also from Padmasanghi Church tradition. He says, Sosu Mingdo, and Garsa, Sosu Mingdo Mandachang, something like that. He said, individually, the Mahamudra, Dzogpa Chembo, Madhyamika, and so on. So they have different words. Okay, and when you read, they sound different, and their explanations quite different. But in essence, it's the same, no different. But then he made it very clearly. He said, if you know the meaning of Mahamudra, Dzogchen, Madhyamika, and Shije, and Semsam, mind only school, if you know all of them, those, then you will find out the essence is same. There's no difference. Okay? But if you don't know, and if you don't know all of them, and you only know the words, then it's different. You don't know. There is no difference. This is how it is. You only know the words, and that you don't know you don't know the non-duality and the union of all these 4 or 5 different explanations, sects, and so forth.
Thank you. Ian asks, could you finish the story of Buddha when he arrived in Varanasi? It was in relationship to emptiness of I.
The story?
Yeah. Finish the story of the Buddha when he went to Varanasi.
Well, so Buddha just went there, walked, and arrived in Varanasi, not the city of Varanasi, north of Varanasi. Well, those days, it's different landscape, totally different. Today, now, over the years, I was in Varanasi, first time Varanasi in 1965, 66. And now I went there recently, well, not long ago, about 7, 8 years ago, 2018, yeah, 17. And quite different. Now the Varanasi and Saranath, it's all become one city. So the place where Buddha gave teaching is today is known as Sarnath. In those days, it was called Rishi Patna. Okay. And anyway, so it's also known as a deer park. So it's a beautiful forest, and there are lots of deers, lots of peacocks, wildlife, abundant wildlife. Even today, there's lots of wildlife there. They have a big park, lots of birds, lots of deer, and to remember the past. So Buddha arrived there, and Buddha knew why he's there. Then all of a sudden, his former 5 companions, monks, they stood up. They said, Gautama is arrived. And they said this. They knew he was enlightened, right? So then they stood up, they bowed to him. Oh, Gautama, welcome. We've been waiting for you. And then there's word, I don't know exactly, of course, how do I know? And there's some stories. One story says, one account says, they asked question, are you enlightened? And Buddha, and he said, he didn't say, I am enlightened. He said, this person is enlightened. This person is enlightened. So that's the same thing, I am enlightened, right? And another story is that they didn't ask you're enlightened or not. They knew already enlightened. So they said, we know that you're enlightened. Will you teach us now? Teach us what you experience, your realization. Share us. And then the Buddha said, Gautama Buddha said, of course. Yes, I will. So then they sat down. Then he taught 4 noble truths. He says, this is noble truth of suffering. This is noble truth of cause of suffering. This is noble truth of cessation of suffering. This is noble truth of path to cessation of suffering. Noble truth means it's a real truth from the point of view, from the level of understanding of the noble being like Aryas, Bodhisattva. This is the real thing. The suffering is a real suffering. Cause of suffering is a real cause of suffering. Path to cessation of suffering is a real path to cessation of suffering. Cessation of suffering, the enlightenment or nirvana is real. Real. So then he went on and taught Sutra called Four Noble Truths Sutra. The first teaching, the very famous teaching, very important teaching. That's how the story starts. That's how the story ends, if you wish.
Daniel asks, why do I feel easier to meditate on emptiness of self than emptiness of other phenomena?
Well, that's good for you. That's good for you. And that's good sign. Okay, your question is good. Why you feel easy to meditate on emptiness of self? Because you are you. You are close to yourself, right? And it is hard to meditate on emptiness or the phenomenon. Phenomenon is infinite and numberless. How? It's very hard. Okay? If you tell me I should meditate on emptiness of those horses in Iceland, okay, Iceland. Oh, okay. I know there's an island place called Iceland, of east of Canada, and somewhere between Canada and Greenland. I think maybe below the Greenland is a country of Iceland. There are lots of hot springs, and the capital city is Reykjavik. Reykjavik is heated by hot springs. They use hot springs natural, and they have lots of ponies, famous horses, Icelandic horses. We have even here, right? One of my former neighbors, she has 25 Icelandic horses. So if you tell me you should meditate on emptiness of Iceland or Icelandic form, it's not easy for me because I've never been to Iceland. I have some idea of what Iceland looks like. Beautiful place, and cold, and dark all winter, and so summer so much sun, land of midnight sun, like Alaska. The sun doesn't go down. I've been to Alaska, Anchorage, Alaska, and Fairbanks, Alaska. And in June, there's a few days, sun never go down, go around in a circle. And so I have some idea. I know those, I've seen those Icelandic horses here, but I have no idea. So if I try to meditate on emptiness of Icelandic horses or Iceland, it's not easy. And why bother anyway? And I should just meditate emptiness of self. That's what teaching says. You should meditate first. So that's good for you. You're lucky. You're fortunate.
Thank you.
I rejoice you. What's his name?
Daniel.
Daniel, yeah. Daniel from Germany?
I think from Spanish.
Okay, good. Gracias.
Barreto.
Okay, Daniel Barreto, gracias.
Mark asks, what is the connection between the spiritual life and activism in the world, contemplation and action?
Spiritual life?
Yeah, and activism.
Yeah.
And contemplation and action.
So all of them is spiritual life.
Mm-hmm.
All of them spiritual life. There's not really much difference. All of them come together. Go ahead.
Carolyn asks, did collective karma cause the pandemic?
Carolyn asked?
Carolyn.
Okay, well, I think so. That's what I thought so. That's what I think so. And because there's no country, no places in the world now not affected by pandemic. I don't know, maybe somewhere far away, somewhere in the bottom of somewhere island somewhere, and haven't reached pandemic, and they're lucky. But yeah, it is global karma, collective karma.
Someone asks, when in Shamata Mahamudra meditation, observing my mind, do I include in my awareness sounds around me, bodily sensations, my breathing, and so on as they occur?
Yeah, well, you don't search, don't look for those. If it occurring, happening, then you just observe. All of them, observing.
Vince asks, I'm trying to do a winter retreat. How do I overcome obstacles that may have arisen?
You're trying to do winter retreat?
Yeah.
How do I overcome obstacles? Well, I don't know what obstacles you maybe know yourself, and then you have to think about according what the obstacles is. And if you can tell me, or if you want, maybe you don't want to talk about because it's personal thing. So I'm not trying to say, or you tell me now because it's not appropriate, right? It's a personal. And generally speaking, I'm telling you, if you think there might be some obstacles, then you should pray to Tara, 21 Tara, or Tara, green Tara, say Tara mantra. Tara will help you to remove obstacles. That's all. That's the best answer I can give you.
Christian asks, how can a collection of non-physical aspects like our karma stay together from life to life?
Okay, how can a collection karma of non-physical aspects, like our karma stay together from life to life.
Yeah.
This is a collective karma, right? Collective karma.
Collection of non-physical karmas.
Oh, not collection.
Our own karmas.
Oh, okay. So, how can a collection of non-physical karma, which is mental karma, non-physical aspect, like our karma, stay together from? Yeah, okay, that's a good question. Good question. Um, so the non-physical karma, which means mental karma, okay, the mental karma stays in your mind. And mental karma is actually some ways easy to stay in the mind than physical karma stay in the body, physical body. Why? Because your physical body changes every time, every life. And this time you are born in Mexico. I say next life you might be born in Tibet. I'm not predicting, and or maybe you're born in Canada. You don't know. Maybe next life you and I be together, and maybe brothers live in Guadalajara, or maybe Oaxaca, or somewhere, and somewhere beautiful island or somewhere. Maybe in Baja California. Okay, Senor, and listen to me now. So, and physically we could be there. All right, this good sign, right? And then but not sure, right? And because body is body changes, and but mental karma, you create a mental karma in your mind. Okay, so of course mind change too, but not so much like body, right? So this mind continue from this life to next life. You see, from here leave this body, and then you go to Bardo and continue in Bardo, then next life wherever you're back in Mexico, or maybe up to Iceland or somewhere, right? So this mental karma stay in your mind. You create it, right? So it's always there. Stay there. Nobody can change that, and it cannot be diluted. It stay there, and then when the right condition arrive, and then ripening that karma. Okay. So again, this is very complex. Now, your question is very complex. What I'm trying to say is very complex. Maybe it's confusing for you and for everybody else. Yeah, I don't want to create confusion, but Dharma is confusing. Especially, Dharma is full of contradictions, and it's not a bad thing. And because Dharma is so sophisticated, the word is sophisticated. That's a good word, and very profound. So it is easy to get confused, right? So then, mental karma, if the karma is a negative one, it can stay in your mind for a long time too. But then you can purify that karma by your action, virtuous action, dharma practice. You can purify. So you can get rid of in this life or in Bharata or next life. Even the positive karma, virtuous karma can stay there too. But that karma can be also weakened if you are not careful, if you are don't have awareness, or something goes wrong, suddenly some delusion arise and hijacked and intercepted and destroyed, or something can happen. So there's no guarantee until you get realization of shunyata, until you get perfect realization, perfecto, subadoria, senor. And if you get that realization, direct realization, okay, then you can preserve these realization of subadoria, and without damaging by delusions or any kind of love, okay, and amor, right? Amor, and without damage, because you have realization, shouldn't you? All right, thank you. Gracias.
Junior Coconut Kiwi asks, would the self be like a role as an actor actress would have in a script that's ever changing in real life, but inherently they are not the role but the actor, and the actor is nameless?
Well, I'm not sure these words, actor and actress, and we don't talk like this in the text. You're talking about some Western movie. What is that? Can you scroll down? I can read the questions on computer. Yeah, scroll down. Oh,
There you go.
There you
Yeah.
go. Okay, so shall be like a role as an actor or actress would have in an script. So this is talking about movies, right? Hollywood or Bollywood movie or something.
I think she's referring to like objective and subjective.
Yeah. So they were changing in real life, but inherently they are not. But the actor is nameless. I'm not clear your question. I'm really sorry. And complicated, all this mixing with the Western word, something that we usually don't talk about. Actor, script, movie stuff. And so whatever, well, let me put it this way. Life is like a movie, okay? That's I know. Life is like a movie. When you watch movie, and it's a kind of tell you about life. And our life is a movie. And we are actors too. We can be actors. We're all actors. Some actors, they are never trained as actors. They never been to acting schools. They naturally become good actors. You hear lots of stories like people who never trained as actors. They become actors, good actors, or actors. Okay, so whatever actors, script, whatever written and acting, whatever, and doing drama, this and that, it's all does not exist inherently. It's all essence is emptiness. That's all I can say. Because I'm not sure your question is very kind of because you're mixing with new words and Western words, and it's not something that we usually think about and talk about. And if you are simple, not simple, but you ask question according Dharma text teaching Madhyamika, then I can answer the questions.
Oya asks, when contemplating the existence of I as not existing inherently, do we rely on the first two steps, Shamata and mind-to-mind meditations, as we progress in our Vipassana meditation? On Mahamudra.
Okay, 2 steps, Samatha and mind-to-mind meditation, as we can you read it to me? I mean, can you say it to me?
Yeah. When contemplating the existence of I as not existing inherently, do we rely on the first 2 steps, Shamata and mind-to-mind meditations, as we progress in our Vipassana meditation on Mahamudra?
Yeah, well, first you contemplate, meditate on Samatha, Mahamudra, as I said before. Then Samatha, Mahamudra, calm, abiding mind, resting mind, natural state, and experience calm, abiding mind. It's all about mind. We're talking about the mind, right? When you do Samatha, Mahamudra, it's mind, calm, abiding mind. You experience calmness, clearness, clear. Then you be able to concentrate and without obstacles, without hindrances, and you can stay with the object of meditation, with the mind for a long period of time. You have to have some experience, like inner samadhi, jhana, absorption. Okay, and then you do analytical meditation and on mind and emptiness of mind. Then you can do analytical meditation. What is mind? So we did. Does mind exist inherently or not? And then you can experience of emptiness of mind. Again, the word mind is a label. Again, what is real mind is clear and knower. That's mind. Clear and knower. And clear and knower is mind. And then true nature of the mind is clear light. And that's what Prajna Paramita Sutra said. True nature of the mind, clear light, and defilements are temporary. Thank you.
Okay. Alex asks, what is the relationship between Chud and Mahamudra?
Okay, that's good question. Your question is very good. I appreciate that question. That's very, I like that question. So, what is the relationship
between Chud
and Mahamudra?
Yeah.
Okay, so Chud tradition come from, as I said, Chud means cutting the ego. Okay, the origin of Chud is Prajna Paramita Sutra. Origin of Chud is Heart Sutra that I've been talking right today in last time. That's the root of Chud. Chud means cutting the ego, cutting the grasping of inherently existent, grasping truly existent, cutting that. That is the Chud. Okay, so it's come from the Prajna Paramita. So tradition of Chud was introduced, the long lineage, introduced from Tibet, from India to Tibet by very famous master called Padamba Sangye and Pandita Kamalashila. His name was also Pandita Kamalashila. Now you asked that question. I'm very happy that you asked that question. Now I want to tell you a nice story here. So the Padamba Sangye is a Tibetan word, means Pa means father, holy father Buddha. So he came to Tibet twice. And first time he came to Tibet, his name was Pandit Kamalashila. Then he went back to India. The second time he came, his name was Padamba Sangye. They didn't call him Kamalashila. He didn't want to call him Kamalashila. It was a long time, people forgot. And they say he lived 150 years. So how could people remember, you know? And who lived that many years, all right? Somewhere in between, he went to China. So he had lived in 150 years. He's got lots of time. he got in a boat and went through, I believe, from Bay of Bengal. That's a usual route through Malacca Strait, somewhere near Singapore, up to South China Sea. Went to China, stayed in China. Then he was called Bodhidharma. Now, this is a very interesting story. Right? Bodhidharma lived in China, meditated in the caves, a place called Loyang. He taught the essence of emptiness, Heart Sutra. He's a founder of Zen. He's a founder of Chan. Well, in China, they call Chan. Later, Chan went from China to Japan, Zen. And he meditated in Loyang. They called him mad monk. He was sitting there, falling asleep. He cut his eyelashes. And kind of strange, right? When God cut his own ear. Why? And anyway, whatever. And then one of the Chinese emperor said, come down to see me. He said, no, I'm not coming. I'm a monk. I don't walk to the palace. And I'm not interested. Anyway, so then he went back all the way back to India. Then he came to Tibet as a Padamba Sangye. When he arrived Tibet, place called Dingri, in the other side of Mount Everest. That's very close to Mount Everest. And he stayed there. Then he taught Chud. Then Machi Glabdin came. Somewhere he met Machi Glabdin. And then he wrote this beautiful poem called 108 verses of Padamba's teaching. We have the book, we have translation. So this is a church. Padamba Sangye taught church. Then there's a long lineage. And then short lineage is Lama in Gelug tradition. We have church that come from Manjushri to Lama Umapa, Bawadoi. Lama Umapa taught to Lama Tsongkhapa. Lama Tsongkhapa, then his disciple. We have today very well in life, beautiful teaching. We have a Ganden air whisper lineage church. Okay, there's a three lineage of church. The long one come from India, from Shakyamuni Buddha, Aryadeva, Padamba Sangye, and Machi Glavda and so on. There's another one is short lineage, Ganden air whisper lineage from Manjushri Lama Tsongkhapa. There's a third lineage called Dakini air whisper lineage, which come from Dakini Sukhasiddhi to Choying Rangdol. Choying Rangdol was the fifth Dalai Lama's guru, and he was a previous incarnation of Chapje Trijang Rinpoche. We have this wonderful church teaching called Dakini air whisper lineage. So your question about what's the difference between Madhyamika and church, right?
Mahamudra and church.
Oh, sorry, Mahamudra and church. So church is Mahamudra. Okay, church is Mahamudra. Because Mahamudra, Maha is the great, Mudra is symbol, seal, which Mudra actually emptiness. The great emptiness. So Mudra. See, in Zen tradition, they talk about Mu. Mu means emptiness, right? So here we say Mudra. Okay, Mudra. And yeah, it's getting late, but I have I translated last night, the last 2 days. I like to read this text. Well, it's a poem, beautiful poem, composed by Machi Glabden. And let me see where it is. I have here. Yeah, I have here. So Machi Glabden composed this beautiful poem. It's called Machi's poem, offering body as a talk, offering the body, mandala offering, basically. We offer our own body as a mandala to the Buddhas. So her poem, he says, here she says, in the vast billion world system, all forms are offered as a supreme body mudra. It's a Mahamudra. Please grant me the city of unchanging bliss, the unchanging body of Prajnaparamita. So Tibetan word is Tungsum Ramjam Jikten Tamje To Zuksunawa Tamje Kun Kuncho Chaji Chobambo Kunjoa Mebe Muduzo. So in this vast billion world system, we have so many forms, bodies, body of human being, body of trees, mountains, whatever, so many. And I'm going to offer these things to the Buddhas. And so please bless me. Yeah, please grant me city of unchanging bliss, the unchanging body of Prajnaparamita, which means unchanging nature of Prajnaparamita, because Prajnaparamita nature is unchanging. Then is it Tungsum Ramjin Jikten Tamjit Daru Takwa Tamjit Kun Sungcho Chaji Chobamba Sungaba Mebe Muduzo. In this vast billion world system, all sound made are offered as a supreme speech mudra. All the sound that you hear, it's again is I consider Machi Lavnus, I consider is speech, word of Buddhas and Buddhas. So I offer the sound. Whatever sound you hear, sound of bird, sound of water, sound of wind, you offer that to the Buddhas. So, but offering one thing, but what it really means, you meditate on the sound, right? Like Zen tradition, they have saying you know, they have a word called white wind, and you sit in the forest, you hear the wind, right? You meditate on emptiness of wind is wonderful, because wind reminds about emptiness, right? Wind comes and gone with wind. And you sit next to the river, and Mount River, that fast-moving river, is also a reminder of emptiness. This is by Hindu swamis, yogis. They all sit next to the Ganges River, build the temples on the river, and so on and so forth. So you offer all this sound. And next, Tungsum Ramjen Jigden Tamjit, Yi Tendo Tamji Gun, Tuk Chaji, Tungcho Chaji Chobombo, Tung Chua Mebe, Mudutsu. In this vast billion world system, all thoughts and memories are offered by the Supreme Mind. Please grant me the Supreme undiluted or diluted mind. So in this vast billion world system, there are so many thoughts of mind, good mind, positive mind, negative. We have so many thoughts, mind, mental activities going on and on. She said, I offer everything to the enlightened ones so that you could bless my mind of everybody with undiluted and pure mind. Tungsum Ramjen Jigden Tamjit, Deda Dunga Tamjikun, Kashi Chaji Chobamba. In this vast billion world system, happiness and sufferings are offered as a supreme auspicious mudra. Again, Mahamudra. So in this world, there's so much happiness, there's so much suffering. She's saying, I offer all this happiness and suffering so that we can experience Mahamudra of Mahamudra, emptiness of happiness, emptiness of suffering, shunyata of happiness, shunyata of emptiness. So there will be no worldly happiness or suffering. You have ultimate anand, bliss. And last one, Dena Deva, Sosungo, Deva Chimba Namka Chabrisho. When happiness occurs, may it increase in all beings, and my great bliss pervade the extent of space. So she's saying, when happiness comes to you, you should dedicate your happiness to everybody, share it with everybody. I pray that this happiness will increase, pervade. Duna dunga dagi jur, kowa dunga ji janso kember shop, pay. When suffering occurs, I take it upon myself. May samsara, the ocean of suffering, dry up. So when you are suffering, when I'm suffering, I take the suffering, my own suffering. I don't blame anybody else. It's my suffering. I meditate on it and I purify myself. Likewise, may all sentient beings, they can purify their suffering. Eventually, the whole suffering will dry up. No more suffering. This is her poem, beautiful poem. And there's a melody with this in Tibet, if you like hear from me. And this is how we sing in Tibet. Kuncho chajin chobam, kunjo ame bemudu, tosoranjanji tin tanjit, daruta batanjik. Play Chodama at the same time. Son cho chaji choba son gaba me be mudu to soranjanji ten tanjit iji tendo tanjik Tun cho chajin cho pam Tun to ame be mudu To soran jenji din tanjit Te dong dong tam jik dashi chajin chobam de na dewa sosu dewa chimbinanga chaparesho do na da kiko kowa dungaji janzo kembaresho. Hey, thank you. All right, I think we leave it here now. Thank you very much, and all the best. So see you next Tuesday. Thank you, my friends from Mexico. Muchas gracias. Hasta luego.